If your Notes app has gotten completely out of control and you wish you could clean it up, declutter it, and make it just a little more organized, then this video was made just for you. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and I love the Apple Notes app. Maybe a little bit too much. I've got over 4,000 notes from the 15 years that I've been using this app. And although a lot of those notes are critical and I'm referencing them all the time, let's be honest, some of those notes are just junk and they should be thrown out. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process that I use once a week to clean out, reorganize, and declutter my Notes app so that I can find the important notes and get rid of the junk without wasting a ton of time. This entire process should take about 20 minutes from start to finish. And if you do it weekly, it will completely transform your Notes app into something that you can actually trust and rely on, and something that will help you find what you're looking for quicker than you ever thought possible. Don't leave before you hear my MacWhisperer power tip, because I'm going to show you how to create the same smart folder that I use that helps me stay on top of my clutter automatically. And to make things even easier, I've created a very special smart guide that you can access by clicking this QR code or hitting the link in the description section. This smart guide will not only walk you through everything we're going to discuss today, but it will also provide a printable form that you can use to keep track of your time and your progress and make notes as you clean up your Notes app. Before we get started, I want you to know that I use my Notes app to the fullest. Meaning I use all of the different functions, from quick notes to smart folders to call recordings to attachments and more. If you don't know all of the things that Notes is capable of, you should probably check out one of my other videos that'll walk you through the basics. But even if you're not using all of those functions, you can still go through this entire process. If I'm referring to a function or a feature that you just don't use, don't waste that time. Spend that time in the All folder or the Notes folder instead, because every minute you spend there is an investment in a cleaner, more organized Notes app. And you can go through this process on any of your devices, but if you've got a computer, that's where I would do it. You won't need a stopwatch or a timer. I'll take care of all of that for you. So let's jump on in and get started with Phase 1, Pinned Notes. Pinning a note is a great way to make sure you have quick and easy access to your most important notes, but over time we tend to leave pinned notes in place even long after they're relevant. In this phase, your job is to look through all of the pinned notes you have and unpin any of them that you don't need anymore. The best place to do this from is your All Notes folder, which might say All Google or All iCloud. Whatever says All is the folder that holds 100% of your notes, and it's the best place to find your pinned notes. So get into the All folder and make sure you are at the top of the All folder where you see Pinned. As you scroll down, you're going to get to a section that says Today. The pinned notes are everything above the Today section. You can easily unpin a note by right-clicking on it and choosing Unpin, or by swiping from the left to the right and clicking the little pin icon here. All right, put 1 minute on the clock and let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, start at the top, and I'm going to click on these separate notes to see whether they're relevant and whether I still need them. If I don't need it at all, like this one, I can just hit delete and get rid of it entirely. But if I still need it, but it's just not that important, I can right-click on it and unpin it. You can also unpin multiple notes by clicking on them and using your Command button to select additional notes at the same time, and then you can right-click and unpin all of them together. All right, don't stop yet. Let's keep going. I definitely don't need to pin this one anymore. That's done. That's an unnecessary piece. You'll notice that I'm swiping to do that. That one can go away. I'm going to right-click on this one and unpin this one. Come down a little bit more. There's a Christmas list. I don't need that Christmas list. I should probably delete it, but I'm going to keep holding on to it for the moment. And I don't need a birth bag checklist anymore because my son's been born and this is irrelevant. So that's 1 minute. How'd you do? Did you get some good stuff handled? Did you unpin some things that were old? Did you find some things that you could delete? Not so bad, right? Now, let's get ready for Phase 2, Quick Notes. Quick Notes is an easy way to create a note without actually opening the Notes app. And you can do it from Safari by clicking on any web page, coming up to the Share button, and choosing where it says Add to Quick Note. Or you can access Quick Notes by coming to the bottom right corner of your Mac and clicking on the little square here. When you click it open, it'll pop that note right onto your page where you can paste anything you need right into it and then press the red button to close it. But the problem with Quick Notes is it's meant to be temporary. They show up in this Quick Notes folder up here and you're supposed to put them away once you've created them. But most people don't do that. So in this phase, we're going to go through our Quick Notes folder. We've got 1 minute, and I want you to do your best to completely empty it out. Everything in here should either be deleted or filed. And if it doesn't have a good title, this is a great time to give it one. All right, 1 minute on the clock. Let's take care of our Quick Notes. Come on into the Quick Notes folder and you can look at any one of these notes. If you double click on it, it'll open up in a full screen where you can see if you actually need it or not. This is something about hearing, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give it a new title, Research Hearing, and I can save that here. Now I can take that and I can put that into one of my other folders. If you're not sure what folder to put it into, drop it into the Notes folder. That is the unsorted folder anyways, and we're going to go through that in a few minutes. Now as you see other stuff, if you don't need it, just get rid of it and delete it. That'll take care of it really easily. Sometimes you'll find some empty ones or duplicates, and you can also select multiples and delete all of them together, or select all of them and drop them all into Notes together. Don't forget, if you need to add a title, this is where you do it. Just give it a couple of words up at the top, and then that Quick Note is properly identified so that you can find it later. You can drop it into any of your folders or right into the Notes app. And there goes our timer. That's it for phase 2. Next up, phase 3, the All Notes Cleanup. The All Notes folder is where everything is, whether you filed it or not. It's the catch-all where you can locate everything instead of having to hunt folder to folder and try and figure out which subfolder something's in. So you should spend a decent amount of time in the All folder anyways. But you know what we don't do? We don't look at the bottom of the All Notes folder. The default sorting system for Apple Notes is that it sorts by the date the note was edited, which means the things that are up at the top were edited today or yesterday or last week. But the things that are at the bottom could be decades old. So grab your scroll bar, pull it all the way down to the bottom. If the date a note was written is pertinent to you, remember that any edits that you do will overwrite that date. So you may want to take note of the date, which you can see right here or at the top of the note here, and type that in before you do anything else. Our job in the next 2 minutes is going to be to delete notes that we don't need anymore, to retitle or rename notes that we want to find, and to put any important notes into some of our folders so that we can locate them quickly. 2 minutes on the clock, and go. All right. I start here and I can see that this is a MacWhisperer Speaks. That's what one of my old blogs was. I might use this again, so I'm just going to update it. I don't really care about the date of it, although if I did, I can just come in and go 8/8/10 just so that I know that it's there. And I want to make sure that my first line is a title that makes sense, so I'm going to say blog ideas, and I'm going to come up to the format toolbar and make that a title so it's a little bit bigger and drag that into my work folder. I'm going to go move it, grab that bar, pull it down to the bottom, focus on the benefit, not stop procrastinating. Yeah, I don't really think this is anything I need. I'm going to hit the delete button on this and keep moving. Here's another blog post idea, so I'll do the same thing I did before. Put a title up at the top, take that, drag it into my work folder, and we'll come grab that bar, come all the way down to the bottom again. All right, that's 1 minute. Got to keep going here. Let's see what we've got here. This was a seminar that I went to. Am I going to remember that? Well, it's got the guy's name here. That's fine. Topics for videos. These are videos from 2011. Jailbreaking isn't even a thing. This can go away. Press delete right on that. Ideas for tech blogs. Yeah, okay. Also, 2011, kind of dated. Let's get out of that. Let's keep going here. Will I lose or have trouble opening old documents? Should I run? This is a question somebody asked me once. I don't need that at all. As I continue to move through it, what else can I find? What do you need to make deals? Where does your data... this is nothing. This is nothing that I need. I can get rid of this or keep it here. Here's a story idea that I wrote though. So let's make this blog ideas again. And I might even give it the title, Series Day Off, which I think is a funny title. Come up to the format, click title, take this, drag and drop it into my work folder. And that's time. Remember, this is one of the best places you can make an impact. So if you have extra time, this is one of the best folders to get into. And starting at the bottom, make sure that these are notes you have not touched upon forever, because old clutter lives at the bottom. Now we're warmed up, and let's get into the big kahuna, the notes folder. Get ready for phase 4. So there are 2 folders that are super important in Notes, and one of them we just talked about. It's the All folder, but the other one is the Notes folder, because the Notes folder is where things go when they haven't been put away, which means when you create a new note, that's where it's going to land. It can also mean that a lot of these things are junk that you didn't put away because you either didn't know where to put it or it was just a little note that you were taking. This phase is going to be broken down into 2 separate steps. We're going to spend 2 minutes going from the top down, and then we're going to go to the bottom and go up. 2 minutes for each of them. So let's put 2 minutes on the clock. Remember, as you go through this, your question is, do I need this? Is it titled properly? Will I be able to find it if I want it? Where should I put it? Take this time to organize the unsorted notes folder. And your time begins now. All right, first things first. We're up at the top. We've got some pinned things. I don't need this guy pinned anymore. Let's unpin him. He's not necessary. Here is a file for a client of mine. This is something I actually need all the time. It's been pinned, which is great. Let me make sure it's in the right place. I'm going to move it into my work folder right here. These are some links that are important. That's fine. I think the pinned list is in good shape at this point, but this Christmas list just does not need to be here. Let's right click on it. Let's unpin it here. Let's right click on it, unpin it here. And we can even hit the delete button to delete one of those. We've got 2 of them, so we don't need both of them anymore. Let's continue to move on down this list. Here's search info. That's not necessary. That can be deleted. And as we cruise through these things, I don't need that anymore. That can go away. As we look through things, you might find stuff like a web link. There's a really cool thing you can do with web links. It's great that we can put a web link in a note, but it forces me to go to the web page, and that's clunky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click and open this web link up. These are song lyrics to the song My City Was Gone by the Pretenders. And that's a song I'm trying to learn on the guitar. So instead of having this web link, I'm going to select all of the information on this page, copy it, and drop it into the note right here. Now, instead of needing that web link, I can delete that, and up at the top, make sure it's titled My City Was Gone. It's ready to go. And I can drag and drop that into my personal folder where my guitar stuff is. All right, let's keep going. We've got more to do. We got about 15 seconds left on here. I still need this one, but this one needs to get put away because it's a little more important. Let's drag it into the personal folder and call it a day. That's our 2 minutes for starting from the top. But we're not done yet because we've got another 2 minutes for step 2. Same rules, same concept. Your job is to get things out of this folder. Put them away, delete them, title them, whatever you need to do to make sure that your unsorted notes folder isn't overwhelming. I'm going to grab this bar, drag it down to the bottom, put 2 minutes back up on the clock. Let's get ready to rumble. Step 2 starts now. All right, here we are on the bottom. I've got a recipe that's not put away. I have a recipes folder, so let's just move this right into the recipes folder. That's easy enough to do. Here's a guide to managing your emails. Again, it's another one of these websites, and it may be a little bit outdated. This is from 2016. Well, doesn't matter. Let's double click it, get on the website itself. This time, I'm going to open what's called a reader view. By clicking right here, I can choose Show Reader, which gets rid of the junk in this page and allows me to just select the story and the article itself, grab all of that information, assuming it's still relevant and important, hit copy, come back to notes, drop it right in here. Now I don't need that web link anymore, and I can just delete it, and I can take this and drop this right into my work folder where I'll get back to it later. All right, grab our bar, back down to the bottom, about halfway done with our 2 minutes. Conscious being quotes, this is unnecessary. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, This is a poem of mine. It's a really good poem of mine. I'm going to drop that in the personal folder. I'll sort that out later. So is this. Wait a second. This is one of my poems, and so is this, and so is that. Let's grab all of those. Glad I found those. Those have just been floating around unsorted since 2017. And here's another recipe, a mango salad. I don't know if I liked it or not, but let's grab it. And one of the other things that you can do as you're doing pieces like this is you can add a tag at the bottom. Tags make it easy for you to find things. And although this is tagged as a recipe, it's not in the recipes folder, so I can just take it, drag and drop it right into recipes, and continue to clean up this notes folder. We're almost out of time. Can I get one more of them done? Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I need that anymore. Let's click the delete button. And that's our time for phase 4. Next up, we got to clean up these folders on the sidebar. I'll see you in a moment for phase 5. Folders are one of the best ways to organize your notes. And anything that you take out of the notes folder and put into any folder at all will remove it from that section so you know that it's been organized and put away. But unfortunately, over time, people have a tendency of opening too many folders and too many subfolders and too many subfolders. It can be overwhelming. And the problem with having too many folders is you can't find what you're looking for because there's too many places to look. My basic rule is that in order for a folder to be viable, it must have a minimum of 2 notes in it. So as I look at this one that says big tasks and it says specific rooms, this doesn't need to be in here. This should be somewhere else. So I can take it out of this section and drop it into the parent folder here, and then I can get rid of that folder or other folders. The one caveat is that if a folder has subfolders in it, that folder can be empty or have fewer than 2 things in it if you like. But in general, when you find a folder that has nothing in it or that only has 1 thing in it, it's usually more clutter than help. So in this phase, we'll have 2 minutes, and you're going to look through all of the folders you've got on your sidebar and ask yourself, is this a good folder? Does this make sense? And you may want to consolidate folders into other folders as need be. For example, if you have a folder for invoices and a folder for bills and a folder for taxes, you might want to create a global folder called money and put everything into it. I use a process that I call the 5-folder fix, where instead of having an infinite number of smaller folders, you work hard to create basic folders that cover large territories. For example, my personal folder can hold my hobbies, my men's work, my songs, the writings that I'm doing, and even some stuff about money that's personal. So you should work to eliminate any folders you can, taking the notes out of them and putting them into other folders, or taking folders and putting them into other folders to create subfolders. You've got 2 minutes, but the first thing you're going to want to do is open all your folders up. If you've got a ton of folders, this can take a long time, but here's a power tip for you. If you hold the Option button down when you click the arrow to the left, it will automatically open up all folders and subfolders so that you don't have to manually open each layer up. Go ahead, I'll give you a moment, get all your folders open, and let's get ready to clean up those folders. Your time starts now. All right, the first thing I want to do, I've got a folder here called More Stuff. It's only got 1 thing in it. That doesn't make any sense. If you don't know where something should go, you can drop it in the Notes folder and sort it later, but don't leave a folder with 1 or no things in it. Let's right-click on this folder and let's delete it, and let's keep moving down. Here I've got one called To Research that's empty. That's an easy one. Let's get rid of that. Here's a Hobbies one. There's nothing in it. Let's delete it right here. Keep going. Here's one called Songs and Lyrics. You can see I've got Wish You Were Here in this one. If you remember, I dumped another song lyric into the personal section. Here it is right there. Let's drop that one in and put it right into this same folder. Now it's got 2 things in there and I can feel okay about leaving it there. Let's keep moving down the list. Here's another one that's got nothing in it. Let's get rid of that. And as you go through these folders, what you can also do is close up the folders to make it easier for you to move up and down this list. Don't get lost. If for any reason you don't know where to put something, drop it in the Notes folder. If you have too many folders and you don't know where to start at the top. Here's one called AI. I clearly don't need that. I'm going to drop that note into the parent folder, which is Work, and let's delete that folder right here. We've got about 30 seconds left. Let's make it count. Keep looking, look for those folders with zero in here. Let's right click, let's get rid of that folder right now. Here's another folder that says 0. It's my big tasks folder, but you can see there are other things inside of it. So I don't really want to clear that out. I'm just going to close it off. Here's a travel folder, but it's only got one thing in it. And yet down here, I've got a folder for New Zealand with 5 things in it. It's okay to have one thing in this because it's a parent folder, but is that one thing really necessary? No, it's not. It's an itinerary from forever ago. Let's click on it and just get rid of it. Now that folder is clean, and that's our time for phase 5. Next up, we're over the hump. We've got 3 phases left. They're going to happen quickly. Phase number 6 is all about smart folders. One of the other great tools you can use to organize notes are called smart folders. And smart folders aren't really folders at all. What they are is a search that you save. And they're very, very easy to create by coming up to the File menu here and choosing New Smart Folder. When you do, you can give it a name. And down here, you can choose all sorts of different conditions. But the problem is, people tend to make smart folders and then just leave them there. And smart folders don't actually organize anything because what's in a smart folder isn't really in that folder. You'll see here, this is actually in my notes folder instead. The smart folders are good to find things, but not great to leave lying around. Also, you can't put a smart folder inside of another folder, so you might find several of them scattered around your folders on your sidebar. One of the best things you can do first is close all of your folders and then take the smart folders and move them so they're all together in one place. I'm going to put all of them up by the top so that I can access them easily and quickly. And now we're only going to have 1 minute in this phase. Your focus is to determine whether that smart folder is still functional, is still relevant, is titled properly, and most importantly, is there anything in it or is it just a waste of space? Let's put 1 minute on the clock and go. All right, as I look at this one, it's called a new smart folder. There's nothing in it. So right off the bat, I know that's a problem. You can always right click on a smart folder and click to edit the smart folder. This will tell you what rules it has. This is a folder for notes before the year 2000. There aren't going to be notes before the year 2000. Notes didn't exist before the year 2000. So this is a useless smart folder. Let's right click on it. Let's delete it right here. Let's come down to the next one. This one is called Erica and it's got 12 notes in it. Let me see what it is. I'm going to edit the smart folder. The rule is that it mentions me. That's not Erica. Let's rename that. Mentions. Now it's at least relevant. I know that these are shared notes that people are trying to mention me on. Here's another new smart folder with 10 items in it, but what is it doing? Let's right click on it, edit it. This is finding any of my archived tags. That's actually a helpful thing because I'm constantly looking for notes that I've archived. Let's rename it, archived, and click OK. And that's our 1 minute. Remember, if you don't get enough done in the time we've got, you can always take a little more time or just repeat this process tomorrow or next week. Now, let's step into phase 7, tags. Tags are a powerful way to locate and organize any note. You can add a hashtag at the bottom of any note just like this. Creating the pound symbol, you will see a list of existing tags you've already used. You can then start typing whether it's an existing tag or a new one. I want this one to be dating. When you click return, it will activate that tag. You can tell because it's yellow, and it will add the tag to the tag section at the bottom of the sidebar on the left. You'll see all of the tags you've got here listed. Tags are powerful, but accidental tags happen all the time, and they can make it harder to find things instead of easier. So we're going to take a look through the tags that we've got. And if you see things that are obviously wrong, you're going to delete them or rename them. An important caveat, when you work with the tags section, if you click on any of the tags, it's going to show you whatever notes have that tag on them. But you're going to want to click the all tags after that to reset it so that you don't end up creating a multi-tag stack where you won't find anything. You can also right-click on any one of these tags in order to rename it or delete it right here. Your 60 seconds starts right now. First thing I want to do is come down to this tag section and look for things that don't make sense. That's a phone number. That's not a hashtag. Let me right-click right on it, and let's just delete that tag. Note that whenever you click on a tag, it will show any notes that exist with that tag. So if you're not sure whether something was intentional, click on it and see what happens. But don't forget to click back on all tags to clear out the filter between each one. This is also a junk tag that makes no sense. I can delete that tag right here. Let's go back to all tags and come down here to the lips emoji. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But you know what? This is supposed to be something for another client. I'm going to right click and rename this tag. Sometimes it's not about clearing a tag, it's about fixing it. This tag should be projects. So as you go through these separate tags, you're going to find ones that you don't need, ones that are unnecessary, and ones that are irrelevant. Right-click any of them to get rid of them, and then ask yourself if the ones you're keeping make sense. Don't forget, at any time, you can take something that's improperly done, like hashtag, and just rename it. That's our 60 seconds, and that wraps up Phase 7. Last but not least, we get to handle Phase 8, searches. Welcome to the final phase, Phase 8, searches. In this section, we're going to have 3 minutes to work our way through one of the most helpful search features on Notes. If you click on the search bar up in the upper right-hand corner of Notes, you're going to notice that there is a whole drop-down menu of options that can help you find specific kinds of notes. What we're going to do in this section, you're going to have 3 minutes. My recommendation is use a minute for each of 3 different searches. The point of these searches is that they're going to isolate notes into smaller sections so it's easier for you to look through them and figure out what is and isn't relevant. As always, your job is to delete notes that you don't need anymore, title notes that are hard to find, add hashtags if necessary, and move any of them into the folders so you can find them quickly. All right, 3 minutes on the clock. Let's go. I'm going to start off with the shared notes. I've got a ton of shared notes and they're not always relevant. And I'm also going to start down at the bottom because that's where the old shared notes are, and I'll bet most of them are unnecessary. Here are some recipe notes. Scorpion and the frog. I don't know why that's shared in the first place, so I'm going to unshare that by just dragging it out of the shared folder and into notes. That will clear the share on it. We'll come back into my search here, scroll back down. This is an old note. That's not necessary anymore. This one's something that really shouldn't be shared. I can drop it into the work folder and we can continue to move through it easily. There's a lot of shared notes on my system, but some of them are just not necessary. I don't even need to keep this shared note anymore. It's from a YouTube Live 2 months ago. Let me click delete and clear that out entirely and just keep moving. All right, that's a minute. That's good enough. Let's jump into one of the other searches. I'm going to clear this search with the X. And now let's take a look at notes with checklists. I don't use checklists that often, but when I do use them, if the checklists aren't completed, it's probably unnecessary. Here's an old CPR from 2016 with a bunch of notes on, this is unnecessary. Let's delete this one. Let's come up here. Here is some technology needs from 2021. This can't possibly still be relevant. Let's hit delete. Let's get rid of that one as well. Here is things I love about Julie. That is definitely something I want to keep. Julie's got her own folder. Let's make sure it's in the Julie folder and let's keep going here. Here's a recipe. Why would a recipe have a checklist? Oh, it's just a mistake. Let's just clean that up right here. No problem. Keep going. Here's a honey-do list from 2021. There is 0 chance that's still relevant. Let's delete that. And that's our 2nd minute. Boy, that time goes fast. Head back up to the search section. And let's find a 3rd search for me to do with the last few minutes on the clock. I'm going to look at notes with drawings. I shouldn't have that many of them. I don't do much drawing unless I'm on my iPad. Let's see. There's 15 notes here. This is a waste. What's in here? As we scroll through it, I don't even see the drawing on this, which is odd. Let's keep going here. That doesn't make any sense. Let's get rid of that. Here's a note from a class that I took back in 2017 as I scroll through it. Oh, all right, that's a relevant note. That I'm going to keep. Here's a performance, presence, and joy. This is a note that I must have taken back in 2022. I don't even think I can read my writing here. I'm going to delete that one as well. And let's come up here. These are notes for one of the wisdom cards that I make. I don't need that drawing, so let's click on it and let's delete it. And just like that, we're done with our final phase. Those 3 minutes weren't quite enough, but the good news is I can always add more time or do this whole process again. Beginning to end, this process should be about 15 minutes. Now in this video, I did explain things as we went through it, which will make the video a little bit longer, but I've also created chapter markers that will allow you to jump straight to the next chapter. And if enough people comment at the bottom of this video that they would like a version without any of my commentary, I'll make that and upload that right away for you guys. So after this 15 minutes, your notes should feel just a little bit fresher and cleaner. We've eliminated some of the chaos, some of the confusion, and added in a whole lot of clarity. But there's just one thing left for us to do. Before I drop my MacWhisperer power tip, if this video just made your head go give it a thumbs up. That makes it easier for other people to find it, and it goes a long way. And if you've got a question, a comment, something you need more information about, drop it into the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you're just stumbling across this and thinking to yourself, man, I need to organize notes and this guy knows what he's talking about, then do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and that notify bell so you'll always be alerted whenever I drop new content. This is going to be the year we get your technology cleaned up and organized and make everything easier for you to use. So let's stop wasting time and jump into the power tip. If you walk through this process on a regular basis, your Notes app is going to be clean and ready for you to find what you're looking for immediately from your phone, from your computer, from your iPad, and even from your Apple Watch. But if you're like me and you create notes rapidly, you're going to need some practices on top of this to help you stay ahead. For me, I use a smart folder. So we're going to create this smart folder together. You may modify it depending on what kind of notes you're generally stumbling across, but I'm going to give you some basic guidelines for what I use. Let's start by coming into the File menu and creating a new smart folder, and we're going to give it a name, Decluttering. Now we're going to create the first condition. Instead of tags, I'm going to come to where it says checklists, and I'm going to say that checklists are unchecked. That means it will find any notes that have a checklist on it without everything completed. Let's click the plus button over to the right to add our next condition. This one is date edited. And here it's really up to you. I like to do it before a date, and I like to give myself about 5 years. So we'll set that for anything edited before February 6, 2021. If you don't have that many notes or you haven't been using it for that long, your before date shouldn't be that far in advance. It could even be 1 year in advance, and that would really help. But make sure you set it to before a date rather than the specific range, the relative range, or after a date. This is going to make sure that the smart folder finds notes that I haven't touched since 2021. Let's click the plus button. We've got one more condition to add here. I'm going to add quick notes are included. I go through my quick notes folder and empty it out on a regular basis. So if something's in quick notes, I want it out of there. Once we've put these all together, make sure that you've changed the condition here where it says include notes matching all to include notes matching any. That means it's going to do 3 separate searches. It's going to find any notes with unchecked checklists, any notes edited before 2021, and any quick notes all at once. Now remember, there are other conditions that you can use here. So if you use tags, you can find it that way. Or if you want to use date created was before a specific date, or that it mentions you, or that it has attachments, or that it's in a specific folder, all of those are fair game. But make your smart folder work for you so that you aren't doing all the steps manually. For me, the things that I look for the most are unchecked checklists, notes that haven't been edited in a while, and quick notes. Now let's click OK, and you'll find your list right here. Start at the top. Are these things still relevant? You'll see there's unchecked checklists here. This doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Let's get rid of that by deleting it right here. And as we continue to scroll down, you're going to find more and more things that just don't make sense and just don't need to be here. Do I need this private wish list? No, I don't think so. Sorry, Manny. We'll get rid of that. You can see there's a couple of other wish lists here. These can all go as well and get out of that shared folder. By setting it up in this way, you're going to make it easier than ever to clear out the notes that you just don't need to hold on to, and you aren't going to have to do it manually. So that's what we've got for today's video, all about how to organize your Notes app and clean it up systematically, the MacWhisperer way. If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, now's a great time to hit this QR code or go over to the description section and click the link to download your smart guide and the printable form. I hope you learned a lot in today's lesson, but there's always more to declutter and more to learn. So check out this video over here for even more amazing tips and tricks to help you clean up, get organized, and get the most out of your Apple products. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.